What's up, big gooners? My name is Eggie, the EBS jackalope in the north, and today we are going to be reacting to one of my favorite subreddits, r/AmIOverreacting. And today we are joined by my lovely Kai, one of my lovely mods.
Hi.
Oi, oi. And we are going to be looking through a tailored selection of cursed shit, to be honest, because a lot of it is pretty crazy. So we're just gonna get right into it because I was inspired to make this video by this post, in fact. So we're gonna take a look in 1 second. So the post is called AmIOverreacting. My girlfriend is pretending to be autistic and it's driving me nuts. So chat, for those of you that don't know me, I've got the tism. I'm risen with the tism, so to speak. So I'm a little interested to see what, as an autistic person, what this person has to say. So shall we? A couple of months ago, my 32M long-term girlfriend, 32F, watched a TikTok about 5 signs you might be autistic or something like that. And she's now utterly convinced that she's on the spectrum. Her reasons? She always felt she was different. She never had any good friends and only trusted a few. She routinely does things like cleaning. She always has very specific hobbies. And at first I thought she was joking, but soon she started beginning sentences with, as an autistic person on a daily basis. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I like literally can't get through this. Okay. I have thoughts already, but I'm going to wait until at least this paragraph. Whenever she messes something up, she now says, oh, that's because of my autism. I don't always know when I do something wrong. She started sharing Instagram reels about how hard it is to not be like other people. She never had any problems reading faces, social cues, or socializing in general. She's a very open and extroverted person. She enjoys clubbing and concerts and much more than me. Okay, so before we continue, I have some initial thoughts. Okay. As an autistic person, actually diagnosed, okay, there are autistic people, myself included, who are very, very outgoing. I am very outgoing myself. I know a lot of autistic people who are more extroverted. That being said, that doesn't change that just because we want to be outgoing and our instinct is I want to see people, I want to spend time with people, being autistic means we are physically unable to, in the sense that while we might crave that stimulation, it is easy for us to get overstimulated, right? So she might enjoy, like, let's say, like, again, I'm not sure, I'm not diagnosing your girlfriend OP, but let's say she enjoys clubbing. She might just, you know, for example, enjoy clubbing for like small periods, right? So for example, I really like raves, but they're very overstimulating for me. So I go for like an hour or two, have my fun, and then I go home, right? And that's my like compromise of I enjoy the activity, but it's a lot for my tism. However, I also have a lot of feelings about the TikTok space and the TikTok ecosystem of self-diagnosing mental illnesses. I think it's very harmful because there are so many things that, like, yeah, obviously there are various signs that you could be on the spectrum or could be autistic, but there's so many other things it could be, you know what I mean? It could be ADHD, could be a mix of the two, could be something entirely different, right? Or it could just be you being a quirky person, and that's okay. Like, not everything is autism, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't know. Kai, do you have thoughts?
You know, a little different, because like I didn't realize I didn't find out I was autistic until much later in life.
Me neither. I got diagnosed 2 years ago.
Oh, same. Mine was like last year. So I get your point about like the whole self-diagnosed like TikTok thing, but also I didn't kind of start putting it together until I started seeing some TikTok stuff. So I kind of get it, but at the same time,
oh, see, it's so hard because
taking it and being like, as an autistic person, like, no, you.
Right. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, right. Like, that's the thing, right? Is I don't have a problem with watching TikTok to learn about new things and be like, oh, maybe that is something I could have. And then going to a medical professional and getting diagnosed. I think that's fine. That did kind of happen with me in my, for context, YouTube. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS. It's a connective tissue disorder. And I actually found out that EDS was they originally thought it was fibromyalgia, but like the treatments weren't working. And then I only found out that EDS was a thing from like YouTube, right? So So like that definitely social media can help with that, but I feel like also it can hinder by basically what's it called? People call it Munchausen by internet, which is basically like where you're essentially convinced that you have a thing. It's like the whole like Google an illness, oh my god, I have cancer, that whole thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I'm feeling here. But let's continue, shall we? OP says, now, whenever we go out and meet new people, she makes sure to tell them she's autistic right away, and it's insanely embarrassing to watch them slowly realize she's talking out of her ass. Yesterday at a house party, a couple we just met came up to me and started asking questions about living with an autistic person. That made me snap, and I straight up told them she's not. Oh, Jesus. When we returned home, I told my girlfriend to either get an official diagnosis or stop telling everyone about her autism like it's a fun personality quirk, because it's embarrassing and insulting to people with actual autism. She started crying and she told me she doesn't need a diagnosis because she quote unquote just knows. Sarcastically thanked me for my quote unquote support and went to bed. Today, she got up and went to work without saying a word. Am I overreacting? Am I missing something here? She never acted like this before. She's usually a rational, mature woman. If she gets diagnosed, I'm happy to apologize, or I'll apologize, of course, but am I wrong to refuse to participate in something that I think is either a lie or a delusion? Oh, man, that's hard. Okay, so my verdict is OP overreacting. I don't think you're overreacting only because, okay, this is how I feel about like even getting arrested. You know what I mean? Like if you ain't got nothing to hide and you're so sure, what's the problem? You know what I mean? Like if you're that sure that you quote unquote just know, then get a diagnosis. It shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like then put in the effort, right? But like to me, someone who is like, oh yeah, I'm disabled or I'm autistic or I'm whatever, and then refuses to go to treatment, like not because of finances or whatever, like just because they don't wanna, because they just don't feel like they have to. That's irresponsible on them. Like one of my favorite quotes, and I've told you this a million times, Kai, but for my YouTube out there, one of my favorite quotes of all time is, trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility.
Yes.
And I think that's very relevant to that kind of conversation. What's your verdict, Kai? Is
Not
OP overreacting? Not overreacting?
Not overreacting at all. It literally took me like a day, maybe two, to find a doctor, to find a therapist who was also able to like diagnose. And it is not that difficult to find somebody. It's like Eggie said, if you ain't got nothing to hide, if you truly think that you have this disability, then get diagnosed. If you don't have it, then all they're gonna say is, well, you don't have it, so then you're just quirky.
So we have a comment here, we'll read a couple comments just to put the cherry on top here. One comment here from Milk's Teak and Jellybean. I don't know, man. Jellybean says, psychiatrist here. First of all, this is a current popular trend that we see that often comes from a place of attention seeking. I can't tell you how many young adults are seeking out psychiatric evals for ADHD and autism who seem to think feeling socially awkward sometimes and being distracted mean they absolutely have these diagnoses. That being said, I'd say you're minorly overreacting. It's quite likely she does not have autism, but there is always a chance that she does and has learned to mask symptoms. You should certainly not be self-diagnosing and parading it around as some sort of badge. This is something we often see in individuals who are attention-seeking. The question is, why does she feel the need to self-label and announce this to everyone? Have you talked about where this is coming from? It seems like it needs to be a more nuanced, level-headed conversation on both sides. I think that's a great answer. That's a great little bow on it, yeah. I think. So thank you for that. But that's that one. Let's go find another. Shall we? So am I overreacting? My 23F boyfriend 21M says he wants quote unquote good chemistry with another girl on my birthday. At first glance, that first sentence, pretty f***ing wild. I don't know if I'd be cool with that. And I'm poly, but we'll see. So I, 23F, just celebrated my 23rd birthday last night. My boyfriend, we'll call him Jake, 21M, took me out to a bar with a group of our mutual friends. For the most part, the night was going great until a girl he knows from his college classes, we'll call her Sophie, showed up. Jake has mentioned Sophie before, mostly just saying she's cool and in his study group. When she walked in, though, Jake got weirdly focused on her. Later in the night, while we were getting drinks at the bar, just the two of us, I made a comment about how he seemed distracted. He laughed it off and said, "Oh, I'm just trying to make sure Sophie and I have really good chemistry. I want us to have a spark, you know?" I was stunned. I asked him, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Especially on my birthday. He got defensive immediately and told me I was acting 23, quote unquote, implying I'm, quote unquote, being old and serious, and that the chemistry just means he wants them to be able to joke around so his study sessions aren't awkward. I told him that chemistry and sparks are romantic terms, and saying that to your girlfriend on her birthday is disrespectful. He called me insecure and said that I was ruining my own birthday over a word choice. He spent the rest of the night acting distant and ended up talking to her for a good 20 minutes before we left. I feel like I'm being gaslit. To me, you don't look for chemistry with other women when you're in a committed relationship. Am I overreacting? Is this a maturity gap thing because he's 21? Or is he low-key telling me he's interested in her? Wow, interesting. Okay, so we're not gonna read the update yet. Kai seems to have thoughts, so I'll pass it to Kai first for this one.
Run. Run fast, run far. He is looking to cheat.
Oh yeah, like this is sus. I think chemistry, okay, the thing is, chemistry is a very weird word to use, but it's not an instant like ick, but I think that the combination of I want really good chemistry and I want us to have a spark at the same time. Yeah, like it's the combination. And what the f is you're acting like you're 23? I'm 30. What is that supposed to mean? Hello? What?
23. You're 21.
You're 21.
Get back. Age difference.
Get back into the womb, fetus. What the f? Like Let's look at some of the comments. He's an immature idiot who did something really disrespectful and stupid in front of his GF on her birthday. Act 23 like he said and dump his sorry ass. This one says, in the famous words of Beyonce, something don't feel right because it ain't right. Girl, run. All right, let's see the update. After reading through the responses to my last post, a lot of things started to click. So many people pointed out that chemistry and sparks aren't normal words for a platonic study partner, and especially not something you say to someone who's not your girlfriend on her birthday. It made me realize that this wasn't just me being sensitive. Yesterday, I sat down to talk about it calmly to Jake. I explained that what he said made me feel disrespected and undervalued, and that wanting chemistry with another woman is a boundary for me in a relationship. It didn't go the way I'd hoped. As we can imagine. Instead of apologizing or trying to understand where I was coming from, he got defensive. He told me I was suffocating him and that because he's 21, he should be allowed to vibe with whoever he wants. Who the f***? Okay. He admitted that he finds Sophie, quote unquote, intellectually stimulating. What?
It's not the only thing that she's stimulating for him.
All right, Shakespeare, calm down. And that they have a connection that he didn't want to suppress just because it made me uncomfortable. Jesus Christ. Later on, I found out from a mutual friend who was there while I was in the bathroom on my birthday that Jake was complaining to Sophie about how serious I am and how he wishes he had someone who just got his energy.
My lord.
That was the final straw for me. At that point, it was clear this wasn't just a bad choice of words or a maturity gap, because he was clearly actively venting to and bonding with another woman in front of me on my birthday. I ended things last night, told him that if he wants to explore chemistry with Sophie so badly that he's free to do so as a single man. Once he realized I was serious, he tried to backtrack and said he was just projecting and feeling pressured by my age and expectations, and I blocked him. I'm 23, finishing my degree, and I know what I want outside of a relationship. I'm not going to be a placeholder or a starter girlfriend for someone who doesn't understand basic respect. It hurts, and my birthday didn't definitely turn out how I imagined, but I'd rather be single than stay with someone who's already looking for sparks somewhere else. Yes, OP, yes! A good ending, I think, to a really bad, shitty story. So my opinions. What an asshole. Sorry, the reason I laughed is because who says vibe? Who says, man, I should just be allowed to vibe with who I want? Like, who the f says that? Who talks like that? If you talk like that, stop. Get some help.
Get some help.
This was a wild ride. Let's do another one, shall we?
Another one.
All right, and for the last one for this video, am I overreacting that I moved out after my ex-roommate admitted that he put grass in my pillow to prove I wasn't allergic? Wow. Okay. So my questions, I have questions. Did he like replace the stuffing with grass? Is that what happened? Or did he put like a blade of grass on his pillow? You know what I'm saying? Like those are two different things.
A blade of grass, like Princess and the Pea type.
Yeah, Princess and the Pea, just like one little blade of grass, just like boop, right there. Let's take a look. So this is a roommate situation. So about 4 months ago, I was living in a 4-bedroom house in college with 4 other people, 3 girls and 1 guy. The guy was dating one of the girls, and at the time, I genuinely thought they were my best friends. The couple before we had all moved in together had literally asked me that when they get married to be the maid of honor at their wedding. This wasn't just a roommate situation to me, they were my best friends and my friend group. Things started to go downhill at the beginning of summer after I said I didn't feel comfortable mowing the lawn because I'm allergic to grass. When I'm around it, my eyes swell up and I get super itchy and red, and my skin normally gets quite itchy too. I wasn't trying to get out of chores, but I did tell them come winter that I would do a lot of the shoveling as I don't mind the cold and I love the snow. So I think that's initially, personally, as someone who lives in a household with more than one person, I think that's pretty fair. I'm a crippled, I'm a disabled. So I, can't do a lot of the physical heavy lifting around the house. So I do a lot of the less physical stuff, and Sheeptar and our other roommate do more of the physical stuff. But like that's the balance, right? So I think if there's an agreement of like, you guys do summer, we'll do winter, I think that's fine. But everyone has to obviously agree. What do you think, Kai?
I think you're absolutely right. If you live with a bunch of people and there's a split of the chores, and there shouldn't be an issue.
Right? That's something. Okay, we'll see. Over the last few weeks I lived there, I was waking up every morning with red, itchy, swollen eyes. I assumed it was something in the house. One of my roommates, the girlfriend of the guy, knew how bad it was. She literally went to Walmart with me to buy eye drops because my allergies were so bad. I had also started taking my allergy meds twice a day. I had an air purifier going in my room at all times, and I was either showering or wiping myself off every night before bed, and I was still waking up with red, itchy eyes. So, like, that's kind of crazy because think about, so allergy meds, right? Like Benadryl and stuff, that makes you so sleepy. Like I take 1 Benadryl and I'm basically asleep 90% of the day. So like to take 2, like double up on allergy pills, this must have been asleep.
To that, I don't know how much like allergy meds are in the north, but here in the States, they can cost a lot.
They're not cheap. They're definitely not cheap. It's an extra expense for sure, for sure. Eventually, I decided to vacuum my pillows to try and get rid of whatever was triggering it. While I was carrying the vacuum upstairs, the guy I lived with asked if I wanted to hear something funny. I said sure, thinking it was going to be a harmless joke. Instead, he casually told me he had put grass in my pillow to prove that I wasn't actually allergic. I just froze. He knew I was allergic. His girlfriend knew too. She had watched me suffer for weeks, and I still knew about it. Realizing that someone I trusted intentionally went into what we had all deemed as our private spaces, my room, and did something to intentionally harm me has been definitely a shell-shocking experience, to say the least. I decided to move out after that, and things somehow got worse. The first time I went back to the house to move all my belongings in the bedroom and install a keypad lock on my door, the guy was the only one home and called the cops on me for trespassing even though I was still on the lease. Oh my God. The second time I went back was to move all of my things out completely. I had a lot of people there to help me move as I wanted to get out of there as quick as possible, but during that visit they called the cops again, this time for harassment because my dad called the guy a fucking pussy. That obviously wasn't the best move on my dad's part, but no charges were filed and nothing came out of it. Hey, you know what? As a Canadian, this isn't right that I have, but y'all have freedom of speech down there. So y'all can call people pussies all you want. I mean, we can too. It's just, if people tell us to leave, we gotta leave, I do know that this is only from my perspective, and I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible. And I also want to share that they have never apologized once to me and tried to validate their actions, saying that I made them uncomfortable by saying I could hear them talking in their room. What? Oh my God, these people are insane. I have now been released of my lease and I've been going to therapy for the last 4 months. I also live alone in a studio apartment. I just need to let this out somewhere because I'm literally still so confused as to how they even thought this was okay on any level. What would you have done? Am I overreacting? I don't think OP is overreacting at all. I think that's crazy. I would evict them immediately. Like if it was my house, if someone was living in my house and did that to me, I'd be like, great, get out. That is so insane. So some updates. I did try to file a police report. Nothing ever came of it. I put the pillow in a garbage bag and waited for 3 months before I cleaned it. So nothing ever happened. For those of you wondering, I wash my pillowcases every 2 weeks, but they physically put it in my pillow with the stuffing. Oh my God. Okay. So that's what they did. They literally replaced the stuffing in her pillow with grass. That's so f***ed.
OP, you're absolutely fine. OP's ex-roommate, the darkest pit of hell is waiting for you.
You guys
knew this
need...
person had a f***ing allergy and you decided to f*** them this badly?
You guys need 17 Hail Marys from Korean Jesus from 21 Jump Street. You need 17 Hail Marys to cure you of that, I think. I don't even know if that's enough. But that was r/am I overreacting. So what do you guys think? Were they overreacting? Do you guys think they were overreacting? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you guys liked this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when I put out more stuff. I also stream on Twitch, usually around 7 p.m. EST on weekdays and sometimes on the weekends. And I put out a lot of other things like music and VTuber tips and stuff like that. So make sure to follow all of my socials for all my juicy content. And please thank Kai for being here. Yay, Kai! Yay!
Yay! Thanks for having me, Eggie. Have fun.
Yay! And Igooners, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Mwah, 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 mwah.